Okay, so you know that feeling right when you're like really in the zone working on your WordPress site? You're tweaking things, trying to get that perfect plugin working, or making sure your new theme looks just right, and then bam, suddenly something just goes completely sideways.
Totally.
Yeah.
We've all been there. It's like that sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize something's broken and you have no idea how to fix it.
Yeah. Like maybe you see this weird error message you've never seen before, or like your whole layout is messed up. It's like your website just decided to become abstract art. And don't even get me started on the dreaded white screen of
Oh
death.
yeah, the white screen of death. That's a classic. It's like the ultimate WordPress nightmare. You're just stuck staring at a blank page and wondering what on earth happened.
Exactly. And in those moments, you just wish there was a magic button you could hit to just like rewind everything. Go back to a clean working version without having to go through the whole hassle of reinstalling WordPress.
A magic undo button for your website. That would be amazing.
Right. Well, get this. In this deep dive, we're going to be talking about a plugin that claims to be exactly that magic reset button. It's called WP Reset Pro. And we've been thinking into all the details. What does this thing actually do? What are the benefits? And most importantly, what are people saying about it?
So we're going to be looking at the features, the pros and cons, and even some of the questions and concerns that real users have about WP Reset Pro.
Our mission today is to figure out if this plugin can actually live up to its promises. Can it really give you that fresh start you need? Can it make managing your WordPress site way easier? And can it actually rescue you from those moments when you feel like you've accidentally broken the internet?
We want to find out if WP Reset Pro is the real deal or just another plugin that overpromises and underdelivers.
So let's jump right in and talk about what this plugin can actually do. And one of the first things that caught my eye was this feature called Instant Reset.
Instant Reset, what is that exactly?
Yeah. Well, it basically means that you can reset your entire WordPress site back to its default settings in a matter of seconds. Not hours, not minutes, literally seconds. It's like hitting the reset button on your website and starting from scratch.
Wow, that sounds incredibly fast. But why would someone want to do that? Like, what's the benefit of completely resetting your website?
There are actually a ton of reasons why you might want to do a full reset. Maybe you're testing out a new theme or a bunch of plugins and you just want to start over with a clean slate. Or maybe you've inherited a website that's a complete mess and you need to wipe it clean before you can even start working on it.
So it's like decluttering your digital space, getting rid of all the unnecessary stuff and starting fresh.
Exactly. And the beauty of Instant Reset is that it saves you so much time. You don't have to manually delete all your content and plugins and go through all those tedious steps. It's just one click and boom, your site is back to its original state.
That's pretty impressive. But what if you don't want to reset your entire website? What if you just want to reset certain parts of it?
Well, that's where the selective reset feature comes in. You can actually choose to reset or delete specific sections of your website. Like you could just reset your plugins or your theme options or even just your widgets.
So you have more control over what gets reset. You don't have to nuke the whole thing if you don't want to.
Exactly. And this is super helpful for troubleshooting. For example, if you're having problems with your website, you can use selective reset to isolate the issue and figure out what's causing it. Maybe it's a specific plugin that's conflicting with something else, or maybe it's a corrupted theme file.
So selective reset gives you the power to pinpoint the problem and fix it without having to reset your entire website.
And the best part is that all of this happens without having to reinstall WordPress.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through that whole process of downloading the files and setting up the database. It all happens within your existing WordPress installation.
So no messing around with FTP or PHP-MyAdmin. It's all handled by the plugin.
Exactly. And this is a huge time saver. Especially if you're not very tech savvy, reinstalling WordPress can be a bit daunting, but WP Reset Pro makes it super easy.
So instant reset and selective reset are pretty awesome features.
Mm-hmm.
But what else can this plugin do?
Well, one of the coolest features is called collections. And this is a game changer for anyone who builds a lot of WordPress websites.
Collections, what are those?
Think of it like this. You know how you usually have a certain set of themes and plugins that you use on most of your websites? The ones that you know and love and that always work well for you.
Yeah, definitely have my go-to plugins and themes.
Well, with collections, you can actually create a bundle of all your favorite themes and plugins,
Yeah.
and then you can save that bundle to the cloud.
So it's like creating your own custom WordPress starter kit.
Exactly. And then when you're setting up a new WordPress website, you can just import your collection from the cloud, and all your favorite themes and plugins will be installed and activated automatically.
Wow, that would save so much time. I usually spend hours setting up new websites, installing all the plugins, and configuring everything.
I know, right? It's a huge time suck. But with collections, you can literally set up a new website in minutes, and it gets even better. If you're using main WP to manage multiple WordPress websites, you can integrate WP Reset Pro with main WP and deploy your collections even faster.
So it's like supercharging your website setup process. You
Yeah.
could have a brand new website up and running in no time.
Exactly. And this is a huge benefit for anyone who builds websites for clients. You can save so much time and money by using collections to streamline your workflow.
So we've talked about resetting your website and setting up new websites. But what about recovering from disasters? What happens if you accidentally break your website?
Well, that's where the snapshot functionality comes in. Think of a snapshot like a backup of your website. You can create a snapshot at any time, and it will save a copy of your entire website, including all your content, your settings, your plugins, everything.
So like taking a picture of your website at a specific moment in time.
Exactly. And then if something goes wrong, you can just restore your website to that snapshot, and it'll be like nothing ever happened.
That's amazing.
Ah.
So you can experiment with your website without worrying about breaking anything. You know,
Yeah.
just roll back to a previous snapshot.
Exactly. And you can even set up automatic snapshots. So for example, you could set WP Reset Pro to automatically create a snapshot before every plugin update or theme update.
That's a great idea. That way you always have a recent backup to restore to if something goes wrong.
And you can choose where to store your snapshots. You can store them locally on your server, or you can store them in the cloud using services like Dropbox, Google Drive, or pCloud.
So you have lots of options for keeping your snapshot safe and secure.
And speaking of security, there's one question that we saw a lot of people asking about snapshots. Do snapshots actually save your content? Like your blog posts and your pages? Because that's the stuff that you really don't want to lose.
That's a really good question. And the answer is yes. Snapshots do save your content. But there's an important caveat. Snapshots are not a full backup solution.
What do you mean?
I mean that snapshots will save your content in your website settings, but they won't save your media files, like your images and your videos.
So if you want to have a complete backup of your website, you'll still need to use a separate backup plugin.
Exactly. But for quickly recovering your content and your settings, snapshots are an amazing tool.
Okay, so snapshots are great for recovering from minor disasters, but what if something really catastrophic happens? Like, what if you get hacked or your server crashes?
Or what if you just completely lock yourself out of your WordPress admin area?
That's a good point. What happens if you can't even access your website?
Well, for those really extreme cases, WP Reset Pro has something called an emergency recovery script.
An emergency recovery script? What's that?
It's basically a separate script that you can use to access your website, even if you can't log into the WordPress admin area.
So it's like a back door into your website.
Exactly. And it comes with a bunch of tools that you can use to fix common WordPress problems.
Yeah.
Like you can use it to reset your password or to disable a plugin that's causing problems.
That sounds incredibly useful. But how do you actually use the emergency recovery script?
It's actually pretty simple. You just need to upload the script to your website's root directory. And then you can access it by going to a specific URL.
And the cool thing is that you can even use the emergency recovery script to restore your website from a snapshot.
So even if your website is completely broken, you can still potentially recover it if you have a recent snapshot.
That's amazing. So even in a worst-case scenario, you still have a chance of getting your website back.
Exactly. And the emergency recovery script is a lifesaver for anyone who manages websites for clients. You can use it to fix problems on your clients' websites, even if they've locked themselves out.
So it's like having a master key that can unlock any WordPress website.
Pretty much.
Okay, so we've talked about all the different features of WP Reset Pro, but how do you actually manage all of this stuff?
Well, WP Reset Pro has a central dashboard where you can manage everything.
A dashboard. What kind of things can you do from the dashboard?
You can manage your licenses, you can add and remove websites, you can create and manage your collections, and you can view and restore your snapshots.
So it's like the control panel for WP Reset Pro.
Exactly. And you can even do things like check the status of your snapshots and access the emergency recovery script, all from the dashboard.
So you don't have to jump around between different pages and settings.
Nope, it's all in one place.
And the dashboard is also where you can manage the white labeling features.
White labeling. What's that?
Well, if you're a freelancer or an agency, you can use white labeling to rebrand WP Reset Pro so that it looks like your own product. You
Yeah.
can change the logo, the colors, even the name.
So you can make it look like you built the plugin yourself.
Exactly. And this is a great way to impress your clients and make your business look more professional.
It's like adding your own personal touch to the plugin.
Exactly.
So how much does all of this cost?
Well, WP Reset Pro has a few different pricing options, but they generally offer lifetime licenses, which is pretty awesome.
Lifetime licenses. That means you only have to pay once, and you get access to the plugin forever.
Exactly, and they have different tiers depending on how many websites you need to use the plugin on.
So you can choose a plan that fits your needs and your budget.
And they also offer a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you can try out the plugin risk-free and see if it's right for you.
That's good to know. It's always reassuring to have a money-back guarantee.
And before we wrap up, I wanted to address one concern that we saw from some users. They were worried about database bloat from taking too many snapshots.
That's a valid concern. If you're taking snapshots all the time, your database could get pretty big.
Right. But the good news is that WP Reset Pro gives you a lot of control over how often snapshots are taken and where they're stored.
So you can adjust the settings to minimize the impact on your database.
Exactly. And you can even choose to delete local snapshots after they've been uploaded to the cloud.
So you can keep your database size under control.
Okay, so to sum it all up, what's the bottom line on WP Reset Pro? Is it worth it?
Well, I think it's a really impressive plugin. It's packed with features, and it's super easy to use. It's definitely worth checking out if you're looking for a way to reset, recover, and repair your WordPress websites.
I agree, and I think it's especially valuable for anyone who manages multiple WordPress websites.
Developers, freelancers, agencies, anyone who needs a reliable way to handle website disasters.
And I think the best thing about WP Reset Pro is that it gives you peace of mind,
Yeah.
knowing that you can always go back to a previous version of your website if something goes wrong.
It's like having an insurance policy for your website.
Exactly. So if you're tired of dealing with WordPress headaches and you want a tool that can help you sleep better at night, I highly recommend checking out WP Reset Pro.
It might just be the magic reset button you've been looking for.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
And remember, if you're looking for more great WordPress tips and tricks, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos.
And don't forget to leave us a comment down below and let us know what you think of WP Reset Pro. Have you tried it? What are your favorite features? And what other WordPress plugins would you like us to review in future videos?
We love hearing from you guys, so keep those comments coming.
Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.